Hello all. Today we are going to have a session on themes for the season 2024. So the speaker for the session is Mr. Pratik Deshmukh, who is an industrial solution technical manager at Dassault System Global Service, and he also has served as a co-founder and director of business development and strategy at RoboLab Technologies. Hope you will have a wonderful session today regarding the themes. You can post your questions about the sessions or any doubts regarding the themes at last when the session is over. So over to you, Pratik.
Yes. Thank you, Vignesh, for the introduction. Let me just quickly share my screen. First of all, a warm welcome to all the people who have attended and have joined this session. My name is Pratik Deshmukh, and I've been associated with La Foundation Seed the Future Entrepreneurs from the previous year. This is my second time being a part of it, and I'm really loving it and enjoying it. And I welcome you all to this journey. First of all, a big congratulations for being selected in this program, and all the best for this journey that you are about to start. And in this journey, as you know, we are trying to build the future entrepreneurs that would be changing the course of the nation and of humanity. Maybe you never know. And how will you do it with the help of the solutions that you're developing, with the help of the startups that you'll be building over the course of your association with the program. Uh, During this program, we every year ask the students to work on certain set of themes that we identify, and today's session is based on that. Today's session is dedicated to that. It's a very small and quick session, but definitely of immense help for you all. It is said that well begun is half done. So if you follow the things that are mentioned in this session properly, you would definitely would have begun well, and you would be starting in the right direction, and your startup would definitely achieve what you are trying to achieve in this. So to quickly tell you the agenda of what we are going to discuss in the next 35, 40 odd minutes, we have a 60-minute duration. Out of this, we will be spending around 35 to 40 minutes discussing the themes that we have for this year, Seed the Future Entrepreneurs 2024-2025 season. And at the end, we will also have some Q&A session to answer your questions specifically. Uh, when I say themes, this year, we have identified three themes. First is health, safety, and wellness for my family and community. Second is best from waste, which is enabling the circular economy. And the third is smart villages and cities for my farm, home, village, town, and city. If you remember during the inauguration, we had also mentioned that we have certain thing called as core requirements. So in today's session, we'll be dissecting all of this. What does each of the theme mean, so that it becomes clear to you which ones to select, which one not to select, how to select your product. And we will also be telling you about the other things that we have mentioned. We had mentioned about that every startup who is a part of this Seed the Future Entrepreneurs program will have to fulfill certain core requirements. Whatever startup they select, we'll be discussing about these as well. What do you mean by core requirements? What qualifies as core requirements? What doesn't qualify as core requirements? This also would be mentioned. We will also be mentioning what doesn't qualify in the themes. So do's and don'ts would also be covered in this. And other thing is the aspects. So we will also be telling you about some examples of biomimicry, some examples of sustainability, some examples of green energy. And it is ultimately on you guys, your team, your teachers, your school champions to identify which ones, which theme your startup fits in, which aspect you're going to cover. So let us start. Before we deep dive into the themes part, I would like to start with a small story. I'm a guy who loves telling stories and listening stories right from childhood. So I also thought that let us start this session with a small story. This is something that I had briefly discussed with the school champions, but definitely something new for the students and the future entrepreneurs who have joined this session. So the story goes like this. This story, basically will demonstrate to you why choosing a theme is important. So the story goes like this. So say hello to a person called as Daniel. His name is Daniel, and Daniel works as a bus conductor. Daniel is pretty good at his job, and every day he gets onto the bus. People climb in the bus. He goes to them, takes tickets, and at the end he tallies whatever money transactions has happened. He is pretty good at it. Never misses a single penny, and he is proud of it. There is another guy. He's say hi to John. So John is somebody who is, 6 feet 8 inches high, tall, and really built well. He goes to the gym 8 times a week, talks in a very heavy voice. Like if you say hello, hello John, so he'll say hello, how are you doing? So he talks like that in a heavy voice. And he is very muscularly built. So a kind of guy whom you look at and you would be like, really scared to interact with. So this story is about Daniel and John. So one day, what happened that Daniel was, as usual, going about his business. He was taking tickets from everybody in the bus, and suddenly John, who is called as Big John, entered the bus. And while Daniel was collecting tickets from everybody, he asked John as well, "Hey, please, a ticket, please." And Big John looked at him and answered in a very heavy voice that Big John doesn't pay. So this Daniel guy was, very thin, not much that much well built. He was kind of scared looking at John. He said to him, he looked at him and he said, "Okay." He was very scared. He didn't bother to ask again. The next day, the same thing happened. Daniel was going about doing his daily business. John again boarded the bus. Daniel again asked him, "Ticket, please." And this time as well, John looked up to him. Big John looked up to him and said, "Big John doesn't pay." Again, Daniel was very scared. He couldn't gather the courage to ask such a big and muscular guy to give the ticket. He was really scared of him. And this thing kept happening day after day for an entire week. And at the end of the day, what used to happen that Daniel's numbers never matched. He was feeling really frustrated, angry, helpless, thinking that, hey, I cannot do anything about it. And he figured out that this must stop. His numbers are not matching up. And the bus agency is kind of losing money because of this. And at the same time, he felt that he is very small to confront Big John, and he was kind of scared of him. So he thought of a solution that I'll do one thing, that I need to become big and strong. So that was the most logical thing he could think of, right? So he said that the reason I'm not able to ask him because I'm small. So I need to become big and strong like John. And once I'm strong and I am having the courage enough to ask him to pay, I'll definitely ask him to pay for the ticket. So he decided from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to go to the gym, start building up my body, achieve this goal of becoming really strong enough to compete with our Big John. So next day, what Daniel started to do? He started to go to the gym. He joined the gym. He failed at a lot of places. He wasn't knowing how to do the stuff right in first go, but he started small and slowly he scaled up. He started to go to the gym 5 hours a day at one moment, and he continued doing so for 6 months. He was really focused. He was very sure what his goal was, and he was working on it. And at the end of 6 months, he was able to achieve with his efforts and hard work a body muscular enough which could be qualified as the new Daniel. So our Daniel from a very thin guy transformed into a bulky bodybuilder kind of a person. And now he felt confident enough that anybody who comes in front of him and says no to what he wants, he can confront and actually dominate them. So now it was the moment of truth. 6 months later, once he was built enough, again he boarded the bus, and at the same time he was collecting tickets from everybody. Big John also boarded the bus, and this time Daniel went to him and asked, Ticket, please. And Big John again looked up to him and said the same things that he has been saying from the past 6 months, that Big John doesn't pay. And Daniel was really angry this time. So now he had the courage, he had the body, he had everything to make sure that he will make Big John pay. And he literally kind of held his collar, and everybody in the bus started to think now a big fight is about to happen. We have to, everybody were ready with the popcorns to see two muscular men fighting and everything. And again, with anger in his eyes, Daniel asked Big John, holding his collar, "Why don't you pay? Why can't you pay?" And then Big John answered, again looking at him, that because Big John has a bus pass. That is why he doesn't pay. And at this very moment, Daniel realized that all the efforts that he took for the past 6 months, thinking that Big John was a guy who wanted to travel without ticket, without paying money, was actually a guy who had a bus pass. He didn't really need to pay every day because he had a bus pass. So all the energy, all the efforts that Daniel took for the past 6 months went into vain. The moral of the story is that whenever you're trying to solve any problem, you should ask yourselves the following 5, 6 questions. If you all attended the previous session that the team had taken, it was about a concept called as design thinking, which is a framework for innovation. During the same session, we had covered that whenever you're thinking about solving a problem, it is extremely important to identify it, and while identifying it, you should ask yourself certain questions about the problem. And the questions can be, firstly, what are you going to do? If you're building a product, what is the product that you're going to build? Secondly, you should ask yourself, why are you building it? You can ask yourself, where are you building it? You can ask yourself, who are going to be using this product? Who are you going to build this product with? Both of them matter. Another thing that you can ask yourself is, how are we going to do it? How we are going to build this product? And lastly is, when you're going to build this product. So my friends, if you try to answer all these questions by yourself, you will be able to get the answer to the theme session that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to use the same design thinking concept that we had discussed previously to talk about the themes as well, which were selected this year. Just to be clear, at the end of this session, we have a dedicated Q&A as well available. You can always type your questions in the chat box, which will be happy to answer at the end. So, talking about themes, we we have, as I said, 3 themes this year, and with every theme, what I want to do is try to answer these questions. Along with the themes, if you remember, I had also said that there are some core requirements and there are some aspects to be covered in it. So these questions would also be taken care of with the help of that. So this year, the first theme that we have is health, safety, and wellness for my family and community. By the way, the reason we selected 3 themes to kind of help you guys to make sure that the kind of startups that we are developing are aimed towards certain set of startups that we're looking for, which will make it simpler for you as well as simpler for us. And it gives you a good head start when you are starting your startup journey. So speaking about the first theme, again, as I said, the questions that we need to ask here is what your product is going to do, who will be using it, and where and well it will be used. So, as the name suggests, it will be something which will be related to health. It will be something that will enhance the safety, and it will be something that will enhance the wellness. It can be for my family or it can be for my community. So, the questions of what you're going to do, who are going to do it, who are going to use it, are gets answered there. I thought the best way of telling you that which kind of startups would fit this particular theme would be to give you an example of some of the existing products that fit into this category. See, what you people are going to do, you're going to build your own startup. It might be an idea that doesn't exist at all. So just use these as reference. This is not an exhaustive list. It can be something that is already done by the people, or it can be something that you're completely doing from scratch new. It can be something that already exists and you're going to enhance it, which we are also going to cover. So one startup I felt that uh, fits into this category, first theme of health, safety, and wellness for my family and community, is a startup called as Sitwalker. So what Sitwalker does, it if you are feeling numbness in your legs and not getting time to move around, so Sitwalker is a product which when you are using even your computer, you can sit on the chair and you can put your legs on top of it and you can start using it.
I think we are still seeing the presentation, not the web page.
Just the presentation. Okay, let me share again. Now is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So this is an
मी
example.
राम भोगले, उद्योजक, औरंगाबाद. आपण जर खूप वेळ बसून काम करत असाल, आपण जर खूप लांबचा प्रवास बसून करत असाल आणि आपल्याला चालण्याकरता फारसा वेळ मिळत नसेल किंवा तशी शक्यता नसेल, तर सीट वॉकर म्हणून पुणे औरंगाबाद स्थित एका स्टार्टअपनं बनवलेलं हे डिव्हाइस अतिशय उपयुक्त आहे. पायाची हालचाल जी चालण्यात होते त्यामुळे आपलं रक्ताभिसरण अतिशय चांगलं होतं. पण आपण जर चालत नसू तर रक्ताभिसरणाच्या काही समस्यांमुळे आपल्याला आरोग्य नीट ठेवण्यास मदत होत नाही.
So this is one example of a product that fits the category that I was mentioning about the first theme that we have, which is related to health safety. Let us have a look at another product. So when I talk about health and safety, so it can be a product that you're developing to make sure that it becomes easier for people to move around in the home. It can be a product that can act as human assistance in maybe hospital or maybe at homes. A robot that moves around, you can build that in the platform, 3D experience platform to which you have the access. You can build the electronics, integrate it together, and it makes a product out of it. Another example of a way where you can make your day-to-day life better, and I really love this example. It doesn't need to be a complex product that you're building. It can be a simple solution like the one that you see on the screen. So it's just a walking stick, but it has been made better by adding some mechanisms on it so that it could be used as a small step when for especially for old people, they find it difficult to climb the stairs. So even simple solutions like this do qualify in this theme. It doesn't need to be a complex thing. You can take an existing product, improve it as well, but don't just take it as is and show it as your work. Okay, another one that I really liked and thought that will really fit in this theme was this product which is used as assistance for people to go up and down, especially for old people in the household, which helps them climb the stairs. It gives them the support. This is all mechanical, developed in whatever 3D designed tool that the company might have used. And maybe you can think of building something like this as well. So all such things that you saw, they will qualify to be in this theme of health, safety, and wellness. Some do's and don'ts, as I said, that for each of the themes, we also want to tell you what are some do's and don'ts that you should do. Strictly, the startup that you're the product that you're selecting, it should not be projects like glucose monitoring or BP monitoring or smart stick for blind. So especially smart stick for blind, this has been done so many times in the past. We want you guys to go a step ahead from it. The startup or the product that you're selecting shouldn't be purely a mobile based application. It shouldn't be an application that you give an app on the mobile. It should be a physical product. It shouldn't be kind of beauty creams or multani mitti, gharelu nuske. Those are not counted in this. It should be a 3D product that you design. Uh, Specifically, make sure that these are physical products which are related to improving health of, it can be either people, it can be either animals. You can select maybe a company that is working on making air purifiers, or you can have a product that is working on making water purification. That was in fact a startup last year as well. They made a mechanism which could filter the water in case of flood, so that you could directly get clean water from it and then drink it. This theme also includes products that will aid in health related things, maybe a better way to store medicine. Last year we had a startup that gave a product, that made a product in which you could store insulin when you want to transfer it over a long distance. It requires to have a specific temperature, and this product that they built, it could maintain a low temperature and ensure that the insulin doesn't get spoiled. You can even think of making a product that will better way, it can be a better way of storing organs as well. It includes product which can be related to safety for yourself. It can be related to safety of your family. Example, you can make a product that can detect gas and raise an alarm. It should be a physical product, but don't make it as just an embedded project. It can be a product that will protect people in case of fire. So thinking about stuff, sky is the limit of the things that you can try to fit in this theme, but a strict no to the embedded projects in it. So I hope it is clear about health, safety, and wellness. Now, moving on to the second theme that we have, I believe that out of the three themes that we have, the first one, which is related to health and safety, and the last one, which is related to smart villages, they are pretty simpler to understand. One new term that you will find in the best from waste thing is the circular economy thing. Maybe not every one of you has heard about it. So I wanted to spend some time covering what circular economy means, which will help you to understand what will fit and what will not fit in this theme that we have in this year. So again, just to make it simpler, what is waste? So I am trying to break down every single word, trying to understand. Guys, remember, we are doing this together. We want to understand each of the themes, and at the end, we want to decide which startup that we are building, which product that we are going to build, where it fits in the themes. So now what is waste? So waste is something which is it can be a material, it can be a substance, or it can be a byproduct. Petrol is a byproduct. When you're purifying oil, you get Vaseline as a byproduct. You're getting petrol, you're getting diesel. All of these are byproducts. So a waste from one of which can be of material, substance, product, which is eliminated or discarded and is no longer use after the completion of that particular process. You cannot use it in the same process, but maybe you can use it somewhere else. So waste can be of different types. It can be paper, cardboard waste. It can be biomedical waste. It can be plastic. It can be even the food after we consume the food, whatever excreta we give out, whatever cow dung, for example, comes. It is also a form of waste. It can be wet waste. It can be dry waste, sanitary waste, e-waste. All of this comes under the waste. And how do now I make sure that I understand the word circular economy? So I tried to break it down with the help of this logo. You might have seen this logo somewhere. If you guys try to remember, it says RRR, And when I say RRR, I am not referring to the movie RRR. So here RRR stands for something else. In circular economy, R and R stand for reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this is a way of ensuring that whatever products that we are developing, we reduce its consumption as much as possible, we reuse them as much as possible, and we recycle them as much as possible. So in simpler terms, this is what constituted in circular economy. But if you try to deep dive into a bit, it will tell you different aspects of that. So I have a small video of 5 minutes, which I would want you all to see to try and understand what circular economy actually means.
In today's rapidly evolving world, the circular economy concept has gained significant momentum as a powerful alternative to traditional linear economic models. With its emphasis on sustainability, resource conservation, and innovative practices such as sharing, leasing, reusing, recycling, and repairing, the circular economy offers a promising solution to our pressing environmental challenges. In this article, we will explore the fundamentals of the circular economy, its key principles, and successful examples of its implementation. What is a circular economy and why is it gaining momentum today? The circular economy is an economic system that aims to redefine our approach to production, consumption, and waste management. Unlike the traditional linear economy, which follows a take, make, dispose model, the circular economy seeks to keep resources in use for as long as possible and extract maximum value from them. It is a regenerative approach that minimizes waste, pollution, and the depletion of natural resources. This concept is gaining momentum for several reasons. First and foremost, the circular economy offers a solution to the environmental challenges posed by our current linear economic model. It recognizes that the Earth's finite resources and our current consumption patterns are unsustainable. By adopting circular practices, we can reduce our ecological footprint, mitigate climate change, and preserve the planet for future generations. How does the circular economy differ from traditional linear economic models, and what are its fundamental principles? The circular economy follows three essential principles. 1. Designing out waste and pollution. In the circular economy, products are designed to be durable, repairable, and recyclable. By prioritizing longevity and resource efficiency, waste and pollution are minimized throughout the product's life cycle. 2. Keeping products and materials in use. The circular economy promotes sharing, leasing, reusing, and repairing. Instead of owning products, consumers can access shared resources, such as car sharing or tool libraries. Leasing models allow businesses to retain ownership of products while consumers enjoy their benefits. Reusing and repairing products extend their lifespan, reducing the need for new production. 3. Regenerating natural systems. The circular economy recognizes the importance of natural capital and seeks to restore ecosystems. It emphasizes using renewable energy, responsible sourcing of materials, and restoring natural resources. What are some successful examples of circular economy practices, and how do they contribute to sustainability and resource conservation? Numerous successful examples demonstrate the viability and benefits of circular economy practices. One notable example is the sharing economy, which has revolutionized various industries. Companies like Airbnb and Uber allow individuals to share their underutilized resources, such as spare rooms and vehicles. This reduces the demand for new construction and car production, minimizing resource consumption and emissions. Leasing models have also gained popularity in the circular economy. Instead of purchasing products outright, consumers can lease them for a specific period. This approach is prevalent in the fashion industry, where clothing rental services enable people to enjoy the latest trends without needing constant purchases. It reduces textile waste and encourages a shift from a disposable mindset to a more sustainable and conscious one. The circular economy represents a transformative paradigm that challenges the status quo and offers a viable path towards a sustainable future. By embracing the principles of waste reduction, resource efficiency, and regenerative practices, we can create a world where economic growth aligns with environmental stewardship. It is through the collective efforts of businesses, governments, and individuals that we can harness the potential of the circular economy and shape a more prosperous and resilient world for generations to come.
So again, moving on, somebody asked me that what is a linear economy in the chat box? What is the difference between recycling? How the circular economy is different? And there were a lot of aspects mentioned in the video about it. There were two main aspects. One was that whatever products that we are making, we can maybe make them in a way that it can be refurbished. You can repair it, then reuse it, and maybe if required, then recycle it. So what is the main difference in linear economy? What happens? You simply take a product, from the nature, you take the resources, you make the product, you consume it, and then you dump it out. You are not able to refurbish it or make anything else out of it. But in some cases, we are able to recycle it. For example, a piece of paper, we take it from the plants, then we process it to make a piece of paper, we consume it. Either we throw it as waste or we recycle it to make something else. In case of circular economy, for example, let's say a bike. If you have a bike, cycle with you, and you are making it, and once the cycle is used, you have consumed it. If you refurbish it a bit, you make it new, and then give it to somebody as a second hand, or somebody buys it from you as second hand thing, then he or she is able to reuse it. And after it has been reused a multiple number of times, then you can recycle it. So in that way, not much goes to the waste. It stays in the same circle of making, consuming, repairing, reusing, and recycling it. So that is what it is referred to as a circular economy. So this is the main difference. In linear economy, you put it to waste, you don't reuse it or recycle it at all. But in circular economy, you are able to refurbish it or repair it and then reuse it. So in this theme particular, by the way, this is there is an organization called as Ellen MacArthur Foundation. This is a very in detailed description of what circular economy means. I have just given this one for your reference. You can always refer to it. Even if you stick to this one, that's completely okay. So this is just for your information of how circular economy works. And as I mentioned, there were two aspects mentioned in it. One is that there was a way of designing products which could be recycled and reused, and there was a way of using services in which the products can be reused. Like they had given an example of Uber. So as I said, in this theme, we are not looking for products that are purely based on applications. So a strict don'ts for this type of theme that we are telling you. Again, it answers the question: what is our product going to do, who is going to use it, then where and when it will be used. The strict don'ts for this is that don't make products that simply show that are showpiece items. For example, I take a Coca-Cola bottle, I have used it, and after using it, I have cut it and planted a tree in it, small tree in it. I am saying that this is a new product that I've made out of it. So we don't want products like that. We want something that could be built by designing on a 3D software. You could manufacture it at scale, and which is something which is saleable and scalable. Okay. And again, to be clear, service-based startups or service-based products or sharing and rental models like Airbnb and Uber, where you have single cab and everybody is one by one booking it, those are not included in this theme. What does it include? It includes, we can make products that are circular or enable circular economy. You can design a product that, better fits the circular economy model that you just saw, or you can make a product which shows a better way to recycle things, or a waste that you choose. You can also choose, for example, food plates. I've also mentioned it here. Some people have created products out of food, out of the dead leaves. You can put them together and form a plate that we usually use in India, which is also a kind of product. So if you make a machine, let's say, who helps, using which you can, make these plates, it can be a product that fits in this best from waste theme for this year. And of course, your one of the very common things that people do is making biogas with the help of the wet and dry waste that is collected. That is also something which fits here. But just to tell you, it is something really very common and has been done previously. You can think of something new in it. And again, to tell you that you're free to explore and imagine. We are trying to tell you here what is not accepted, but what is accepted, you just convince us whenever you come up with the idea. We'd be, happy to accept it. The third theme that we have this year is smart villages, cities, for my farm, for my home, my village, town, and city. So this theme, I hope, is very easy to understand. It's very self-explanatory kind of thing, that what is smart village and smart city. So just for your information, again, we will try to answer the same questions, that what will my product do, who will be using it. So my product would be something which will make my village or my city smart. Who would be using it? My family would be using it, or my home, my village, my town would be using it, where it will be used by these at these locations. So just to make it simpler, where does this smart village thing came into existence? This is actually taken from one of the visions of Mahatma Gandhi, where he had mentioned about Adarsh Gram and Swaraj, which is called as self-reliance. So to achieve this, every village and every city needs to become smart, and the products that will make it smart, will make it self-reliant, would fit perfectly in this category. Now, this would be products that are solving problems that are faced by a group of people, or by a community in your town, city, and village. For your reference, by the way, this presentation would be shared with you all, and for your reference, I've also given a couple of links which will help you understand what smart city and smart village means. So there are good examples of this available. Let's go to this link so that I show you an example of. So if you go and here, if you look at it, it will give you a good idea of what a smart city means. These would be some examples of it. Let me just reopen that. So here it will give you an example of, you can see a bench here. So you can make a product which can be a smart bench, a bench that has maybe uh, a solar panel on it. You can sit on the bench, you can enjoy the view, as well as at the same time, you can maybe charge your phone when uh, when you are sitting on it. So even that fits in this category. Second one is, here there is also an example of in this website, they have mentioned some examples of some products uh, related to villages here. So this is a very good example of some products actually developed and being used by people. It can be small, uh, you know, a wind farm that is developed by the people. It can be a solar dryer that was developed by the people. You can think of making a solar cooker. You can make a product that will recycle the rainwater. You can make design a smart urinal, not just take a bottle and cut it, but a smart urinal that could be used. Here is an example of a safe mechanical tree climber that was developed by them. You can also think of having something like this. And we will also have look at some of the startups that were done last year, which can fit in this category. So moving on, a strict no-no in this category is don't use embedded projects like garbage separator. We saw a lot of startups last year having ideas like we will be able to segregate wet waste and dry waste with the help of a IR sensor and everything. That is not included. Again, even though this is smart villages, just putting the word smart does not make the product smart. So it really, you have to make sure that you mention and you are able to demonstrate these capabilities when you're calling it as smart. What are some examples of good products that will fit in this category? Maybe I can make a robot that cleans the septic tanks, the sewage tanks that the sewage worker cleans, so that the sewage worker doesn't have to risk his or her own life. You can maybe make a product that automatically turns on and off the water pump in a field, so that I don't have to travel at night in a farm to turn on the water pump and turn it off, which can be a product that you make. Of course, it will have some electronics into it, but it should be a product that you can fit and you can manufacture, and something compulsorily that you can 3D print. You can make a product maybe that can simplify the process of sowing seeds in farms. You can make a product that can simplify the process of taking out extra plants from the farm. It can be a machine that helps recycle plastic, or you can do a survey in your locality and try to find out a solution. Last year, there was also a startup that built a product which was a better toilet design that they proposed, using which they wanted to solve the problem of uh, of dirt falling everywhere, and they wanted to make their surrounding clean. So all of these kind of startups would fit into this theme. Of course, you do not have to limit to the three themes that we told you. You can use your imagination. Whatever you come up with, convey it to your school champion or your teacher. School champion, for the schools who have assigned to them, are the people from our end who would be your point of contact. These are kind of your buddies who will be helping them, who will be helping you to ensure that you are on right track when you're developing your products in this. The other thing that we had mentioned when we told about the themes for 2024-25 was about core requirements. So this year we have three core requirements. So core requirements is something that you compulsorily, have to make sure answers the questions that you just saw. Why are you building this particular product and how you are going to build it? So your core requirements should answer these questions. The three core requirements that we have, and which we expect all of you for any product that you do, all three are expected that you follow these. First one is that whatever solution that you're trying to build, it should be focusing on grassroots innovations. Now, grassroots, it should be a grassroots solution. So what do I mean by grassroots solution? So basically, it implies that whatever problem that you're trying to solve, make sure that it is a problem that people are facing. Not just a problem that you think in your head is a problem and you want to solve it. Make sure that on day-to-day basis, or by solving this problem, you're making somebody's life easier and it impacts and touches people's life. Whatever solution you propose to make it simpler, easier, can be said as a grassroots solution. Second one is your product should try to be enhancing the user usability. Many a times there are products that, it's this is a very simple and good example of telling it that many a times this pavement that is designed, usually products are designed like this, keeping sophistication in mind, that my product should be best in every manner. And usually what people require is not the entire product with all the capabilities. They require a simpler one, maybe to solve their problem. So you can even take an existing product we remember that we are all in just you're all in just 8, 9, 10, 10 standard. We do not expect you to make spaceships in a period of 6 to 8 months. It can be simpler products, but make sure that when you're making it, they solve some problem and they are making things simpler. So you can even take an existing product, and if you identify that, hey, I can improve this further by making some design changes in it, it fits in this. It is exactly enhancing the usability. So that is allowed. And the third one is, as mentioned previously as well, you should leverage design thinking. In a way, ask yourself the questions, define the problem properly, empathize with it, ideate about the problem, prototype it, test it, and once this is completed, repeat the entire process till you get what you're looking for. The last part is the aspects that we have for this year, and we have three aspects. First one is biomimicry, second is sustainability, and third is green energy. Let us have a look at them one by one. So when I say biomimicry, it refers to that my product or startup, whatever that I'm building, is actually taking inspiration from nature. So here on the screen, you can see some examples like this design is copied from here. And this small robotic insect is actually taking inspiration from the way a cockroach is actually there. This small, this seat, this chair is taking inspiration from the design, the shape of a tortoise. A gecko, which is kind of a lizard, has arms, has legs that stick to the wall. A shoe grip, which is taking inspiration from the lizard. The wings of the fins of this whale are inspiration for the fan that is there for the windmill that you see. And the lotus temple, you lot of must have heard about it already. It takes inspiration from lotus. So when you're building a product, the physical aspect of it, or even the functional aspect of it, if it's taking inspiration from nature, then it comes under the biomimicry part. You can replicate patterns, you can replicate mechanisms in your product, and remember that you have to justify it. If I make a box that will turn a motor on and off, and I simply attach four legs to it, and I say that I have taken inspiration from a cockroach design to it, that doesn't work. You have to justify it properly, which is again a skill. So everything that is taking inspiration like this comes under this aspect of biomimicry. Second aspect that we have this year is for sustainability. So sustainability is when you try to define it, it is often broken out into subsections like sustainability in terms of economics, sustainability in terms of environment, and sustainability in terms of social. So all of this comes under this aspect. Anything that you are able to process or support and maintain over a period of time, that only becomes sustainable. To make it simpler for you to identify some of the sustainability goals that you can try to achieve through your startup, I have mentioned a link here. You know that United Nations has its own plans, has its own targets for sustainability, and they have in fact identified 17 areas in which they want to achieve sustainability. So do have a look at this website, and it will give you a very good idea of whatever product you're building, if it can fit in one of the categories that is present there. And no matter what category you choose, and if it is sustainable, it is addressing the problem of being sustainable, then it will cover this aspect for your product. Last one is green energy. So what is green energy? Green energy is energy that can be produced using a method so that you don't cause harm to the nature. How is it different from the current energy forms that we use? For example, fossil fuels that we use, they are first of all not renewable. They will be finished at certain point of time, and they pollute there, they pollute water, the ground, everything. But when it comes to green energy forms, like when I say green energy, renewable energy forms, we can have different energy sources, like you can use wind energy, solar, you can use hydro energy, you can use tidal energy in sea areas. So your product can be something that is making sure that you are assisting in producing green energy, or other way around as well. Even if you're reducing the carbon emission, if you're reducing the fuel emission with the help of your product, it will also fit in this category a bit. So green energy is something, another third aspect that we have, which we can have as one of the aspects that is covered in our startup. Now, I told you about the themes, I told you about the aspects, I told you about the core requirements. There are certain things that you should keep in mind when you are identifying the problem statement. That survey is really, really crucial. Survey means you going talking to the people, trying to understand what their problem is. If you haven't been able to identify one, go to talk to people what problem they are facing. But be very careful as well, observe very properly. Henry Ford is the gentleman who started, making cars. He was the first person to start manufacturing of cars and started selling them. And he was famously asked by people, what did you do differently? What did you ask to people? And he had said that if I had listened completely to what people had said, and nobody at that point of time knew that there is something called as car, so they all of them were using horses. So if I asked them, what do you want, they would have said that I want a faster horse. Nobody would have said that I want a car. So based on the survey, don't just go on the data that information that you get, try to convert it into points that will help you decide if a particular idea that you have in your mind is actually solving the problem or not. And always take it with a pinch of salt, whatever survey that you make. And again, as I said, you might copy an existing product, but don't copy it as is. Nakal mein bhi akal lagti hai. Make sure that you enhance it further. You can always show that you took reference from an existing product, but you made it better. Don't just copy paste it. You make it better and showcase that you have enhanced the usability of it. And as I said, it's just a 6 to 8 months program. We don't expect spaceships to be coming out of in a period of 8 months. You can always mention future enhancements when you're building the product. Limit the kind of don't overestimate the kind of results that you will be able to get in the 8 months period. Always make sure that these are not embedded projects that you're selecting. These have to be 3D designed products, something that you can 3D print. It is compulsory that you have something 3D printed in your product. And lastly, it shouldn't be a service based startup, which is not accepted. Again, just to summarize whatever we discussed today, we said that we will follow design thinking and we will ask certain questions to ourselves. So what will our product do? Who will be using it? Where and when it will be used? It can be based on the answers to these questions. It can be categorized in the first theme, which is health, safety, and wellness, or it can be best from waste, which is enabling the circular economy. Make sure that you are making a product that enables circular economy. Your product might not be completely circular, that's okay. But even if you're making something that enables something being circular, that's completely okay. And third one is smart villages and cities for my home, for my village, and for my town and for my city. And the other aspects, other things that we discussed was how will you build the product and why will you build this product. The questions that answer it, when I say how, it covers the part of the core requirements that your startup, your product should have. It should focus on grassroots solutions, it should enhance the user usability, and it should leverage design thinking, and it can be one or more aspects that you have. It can be related to biomimicry, it can be related to sustainability, or it can be related to green energy. Now, if I simply want to tell you in single slide how my product should be, so your product should and must fit in at least one theme. you decide one theme and you stick to that theme where your in which your product fits. Your product must cover the three core requirements of focusing on grassroots solutions, enhancing usability, and leveraging design thinking. And third one is your product must cover at least one aspect, either biomimicry, sustainability, or green energy. Always consult with your teacher who will tell you whether you are able to satisfy these particular requirements or not, whether it fits in a particular theme aspect and fulfills the core requirements. Don't be like Daniel. Don't assume that problems that you're trying to solve are actually very big problems. uh, have a set of ideas, discuss it amongst the team, and then decide which one you want to work on, and then map it to a particular theme. The other way around is simply telling you that we want startups in this year to be related to only these themes, which makes it simpler for you. You don't have to think about the entire world, just related to these themes. Now let us do a small quiz. It will just take 2 more minutes. So based on the products that I show you on the screen, you tell me which uh, which theme or which aspect it fits in. So all the products that you see are from last year. Last year we had different themes, different aspects, but some of them could be mapped in this year's as well. So this is I will ask you to maybe put it in the chat box. I hope the chat is enabled.
The QA panel is enabled.
Okay, so you can put it in the QA panel as well. So this product that you see, it was called as Ignis. This is from last year. And what this product did was you can take your normal stove, you can put it on top of it, and you can set a timer on it so that if you want the gas stove to turn off after maybe let's say 30 minutes, it will automatically be after 30 minutes turn off. Avoiding instances where the milk gets spoiled and your mom shouts on you. So what category do you think this product will fit in? What theme this can be? Can it be health, safety and wellness? Can it be best from waste, smart villages and cities? What aspect? So the core requirements, it is compulsorily has to be fulfilled. You have to map these two are the most important ones. Which themes? Theme one, theme two, or theme three, or biomimicry, sustainability, and green energy aspect. So can I say that this is providing safety to my home environment? So does it fit under safety? Or can I say that this is a smart product to ensure that less energy is used in my home? So in a way, if I pitch it like that, it can fit in either of the categories. And when it comes to this is consuming energy, so I can say that it fits very well in the green energy part as well. Okay, another example. Moving on, there was a product last year which was awesome. And can you try to guess the theme and the aspect in which it fits? So this product was kind of a weighing machine for cylinders. You can put the cylinder on top of it. It also has indicators on it. When the weight of the gas reduces, when the gas is about to end, you get an indicator here. And even when you are taking the cylinder from the person who is delivering it, you have the surety that it is completely filled. So which theme do you think this fits in? And can I say that this looks actually like a tortoise? They actually when the students designed this, they took inspiration from the tortoise. Like tortoise, in mythology, it is said that a tortoise is carrying the entire world on top of its back. So they took the same concept and said that we will design it kind of biomimic a turtle and design it like that. So this can fit under the aspect biomimicry. There was a product last year which was used to dry vegetables with the help of solar energy. So what aspect do you think, what theme do you think this can fit in? Let me see some answers. Yes, it can fit in smart villages and cities. It can fit in green energy. It can also actually, uh, yeah, smart villages and cities. Correct. I can read it. Manan Arora. Yes, thank you for the answers. Another question. No, this was a startup which was inspired by the fact that when a bat flies and it 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 the bat eats moths, right? And when a bat flies, moths have actually evolved to detect ultrasound evasion to escape the predatory. The moths have modified themselves to get reflection from the ultrasound that is coming from bats in order to save themselves. So can I say that this is kind of biomimicry? And this can very well, this is a product that was used in agricultural farms where there are a lot of moths. You could install it in the village or in the farm, and the moths or the insects will go away because of this. So yes, right, Anusha, this fits as biomimicry, and in terms of themes, this can be related to smart villages and cities. Another one, there was a startup where they claimed to preserve electricity, and they used it to make sure that um, the vegetables are fresh without actually using electricity in it to keep it cool. So what this will fit in? Yes, so some of you have mentioned it right. It will fit in smart villages and cities, and it can be related to green energy. Correct. Again, to summarize, these are the themes that we have this year. We have to make sure that at least one theme, at least one aspect, and the three core requirements are filled. We have to make sure that we are not like Daniel, assuming problem statements. We are going to identify one, map one properly to the themes and the aspects, and then we are going to work on it. Thank you. And now I am open for any question and answers. I see some of you have typed them in the chat box already. So somebody, Aditya Bhanod, has asked that, can you explain sharing and rental models briefly again? So when I say sharing and rental models, you all know Ola and Uber, right? So in Ola and Uber, it is also a startup. It is also a company that is running. There, what is being done? There is no physical product that is being manufactured. They have, for example, if I am booking an Uber and I have used it, then maybe Yogita can again book it again when she wants to book it. So it's a sharing model. You are taking an existing thing on rent. So we don't want a rental model like that. We want a physical product that is being made. A simple example can be, for it, a circular economy can be, you design a shirt that can be used, and after use, then this shirt could be converted into a t-shirt. You make a product like that. After using for a certain amount of time, it can be something which be converted into even an innerwear, and maybe later on in a handkerchief, and it still works. So even products like that would fit in that circular economy. Other thing is, when will the school champions be assigned? Most of the schools, so it is, we are in the process of mapping it. So this year, as you know, you are competing with almost 300 other schools that are a part of this, and you will definitely, it will be conveyed to you all. Make sure that you stay in touch with your teacher who is conveyed to them, and to you as well. An email would be sent. So Spriti Sahu has asked that, sir, to make a model, should we focus on a specific problem or think more? So Supriti, you don't have to focus on a specific problem. Currently, you are in the phase of identifying your problem. You can create a stack of ideas, discuss it amongst your team, and whichever you think is the one that you can solve, decide the priority, which one is the most important for you, get it cross-checked where with your teacher, in which theme and in which aspect it will fit, and then only decide it. But once you have decided it, make sure in this competition you also have to submit what your startup idea is. Don't change it in between. Okay. The other question is, what should be the average sales of one product, or how many total products should be sold? So we don't judge based on sales here. We are judging based on the impacts that you're creating for the people. Of course, having more sale, it kind of conveys that the product is really popular and being taken well by the market. So it will definitely add value when you're portraying it in front of the judges that my product has this much sale currently. It's okay if it hasn't been sold yet. You can always tell that we are going to commercialize it later on, but it will help if you have some revenue to show as well. So Akhil has asked this: what types of safety are included under health, safety, and wellness? Safety can be physical, psychological, environmental. Does a security system fit under it? Yes, it fits under it. A security system can be a good product. Make sure that it is just built, designed, and made in 3D. So somebody has asked, can you define sustainability again? So again, this presentation would be shared with you. You can always go back and refer to this presentation as well as recording. Sustainability in a way is making sure that the products that you are making, you don't have to simply dump it. You are able to use it. You are making sure that whatever products or processes that you're building, they are replicable in future as well. Other question is, sir, to make a model, should we focus? That is already answered, I think. Aarti is asking, sir, can I make a mosquito repellent? Uh, so I don't think the mosquito repellent can be a good product for this. But if you're making a mosquito repellent, maybe with something that is a 3D product that you can manufacture, that can be a good thing. But no creams, don't say that मुल्तानी मिट्टी लगाने के बाद में अच्छा दिखेंगे और मच्छर नहीं काटेंगे is not accepted. Previously I have put it like no घरेलू नुस्खेs portrayed as startups. Somebody has asked, if by chance our product covers two themes, then would it be a problem? No, it's not a problem. If the product covers more themes, that is not a problem at all. But when you are portraying it in front of people, you tell what is the main theme that you're covering. It will help the person who is judging you to understand what is the thinking process that you have followed behind it. I think all the questions are answered. We'll wait for another 30 seconds if any more questions are there. Remember that your product has to fit in at least one theme. I have underlined at least for you so that you know that it can be even more than one, but it's always preferred to be one. We are just in 8, 9, 10, 10 standard. We cannot be making rockets. So keep it simple, easy for you as well. Things that you can achieve. So if somebody has asked, sir, I made a woman safety device. Is it a good startup idea? Yes, it's a good startup idea. Harshavardhan has said, can we make a shoes which adjusts as per our leg? Yes, you can. Can we make shoes? When will we make the 3D project? So once you have the access to the platform, you will be able to do it. Okay. I hope no more questions. So thank you for patiently listening to this. As I said, this was a very simple webinar, but very important for you because this decides in which direction you go. Select the direction properly, interact with your teachers, tell them that whatever idea you have decided, which theme it fits in, and then work on it. Really, all the best. Looking forward to seeing your products and have a wonderful day ahead. Over to you, Vignesh.
Yeah, thank you, Pratik. I think you guys had a wonderful session today. Most of the questions are answered, and the questions regarding the 3D printing and manufacturing stage will be answered in the further sessions that we'll be having. So this session was regarding only the themes. I think you got some good idea about what you should consider for selecting a good theme and how we have to develop further on it. So thank you, Pratik, and thank you, everyone.